In Genesis chapter 17, verse 6, God said, I will make you exceedingly fruitful. And so the natural question is, if God is telling us he'll make us exceedingly fruitful, why is it that there's so many men that's living check to check, constantly stressed and depressed, not being able to provide and take vacations with their loved ones? And overall, why is it just so many people that's not living a fruitful life? Now, in this video, I'm going to specifically talk about 5 reasons 99% of men is broke and depressed, and 10 ways to fix it. In my opinion, it's not because of the economy. And I understand that the economy is going to affect what you can and can't do. But ultimately, what I'm trying to get across to y'all is that it's still a whole lot of people out here getting to that bag, even with a bad economy. And a lot of them didn't have no head start, just like you ain't have no head start. And they not just better than you. It's just that they know how to get out here and create the life that they want, regardless of what's going on in the world. So with that being said, if you're ready to take 100% responsibility for your life and understand that it's fully up to you to make it what you want it to be, then keep watching this video. And so the first mistake that 99% of men is making that's keeping them broke and depressed is that you lazy as fuck. And let's be 100% real about that. You don't want to work. You think everything should be handed to you. You want everything to be easy. And if you really think about it, how can you live a fulfilling life if you ain't willing to get up and go get it? So laziness is holding you back and it's stopping you from reaching your full potential. Now, the second thing that's keeping 99% of men broke and depressed is always being negative and complaining about every single thing. Everything in your world is just oh so bad for you. But do you understand that your mind creates your whole reality? And so if you constantly being negative and sending negative energy out into the world, the universe is going to send that negative energy right back to you, and it's going to show up in every area of your life. So if you constantly having negative thoughts, you're going to constantly live a negative ass life. Now, the third thing that's keeping 99% of men broke and depressed is that you simply don't believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, then who is going to believe in you? Ain't nobody gonna believe in nobody that don't believe in themselves. I'm sorry to break this to you, but the world don't have no sympathy for a weak man. So if you out here not having confidence in yourself, ain't nobody gonna come pick up the slack for you and help you out. You gonna have to build that on your own. And so if you ain't getting the results that you want in life, maybe it's time to take a step back and think. Maybe you haven't been believing in yourself enough to get out here and do the stuff that you need to do to make it happen. And that leads me to the fourth thing that 99% of men is doing wrong that's keeping them broke and depressed is that you expect everything to be easy. But my question is, who the fuck told you everything is supposed to be easy, and why did you believe that shit? I'm sorry to tell you this, but it do not work that way, bruh. If you want to live a nice life, you gonna have to get your ass up and get out here and go get that shit yourself. And the fifth thing that so many men is out here doing that's keeping them broke and depressed is simply making way too many excuses. Everything that you say is just excuse, excuse, excuse. Oh yeah, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I couldn't do that because of blah, blah, blah. And I want to start this business, but I can't do that because this, and I can't do that because this. And everything you saying is can't. It's always an excuse. It's always some other reason outside of yourself that's making you not be able to do the stuff that you need to do. Instead of you looking at yourself and saying, all right, I'm fucking up, I'm bullshitting, I ain't doing what I need to do, let me get my shit together. And at the end of the day, if you constantly making excuses, I promise you, you'll be way better off just admitting to yourself that you just been being mediocre. Because once you admit it to yourself, now you're going to have awareness of it and actually have a desire to want to change it. Versus if you keep making excuses, then in your mind, you're going to be thinking you ain't doing nothing wrong, which means you're going to keep making the same mistakes over and over and over and over. And 3, 4, 5 years from now, you still going to be broke. You still going to be depressed. But with that being said, if you're willing to take full responsibility for your life and your actions, then anything can be turned around. So you can go from broke and depressed to paid and happy and fulfilled and living a good life and taking vacations whenever you want to take vacations and doing all the other shit that you want to do. And all you got to do is follow these 10 steps that I'm about to list out for you. And I promise you, you'll start to live a better life. Now, with that being said, the very first thing you need to do if you want to get your shit together and start living a better life is, first thing first, get your mind right. Because like I just said, your mind is the start of everything. So if your mind ain't right, Your money ain't gonna be right. Your life ain't gonna be right. Your relationships ain't be right. Ain't nothing gonna be right in your life if your mind ain't right. So the very, very first thing that you need to do to turn your life around is to get your mind in a good place so you can have a good foundation to build everything off of. And so the second tip, and this second tip build on that last tip, is start learning how to turn your negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Now, I ain't trying to be one of these extra positivity gurus, everything just oh so positive, 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 because life don't work that way. At the end of the day, you're going to have negative thoughts. You're going to face negative situations. But when it comes to you being able to execute on your goals and your plans, you just got to think positive about that shit. So, for example, you got a lot of people that want to start a YouTube channel, but they don't because it's like, oh, well, it's too late. It's already saturated. There's too many people doing what I want to do. You just thinking negative, negative, negative. And so you don't take action. But if you think positive, like, listen, it's cool that everybody else doing what they doing, but I can do it too. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get my slice of the pie. And you just had that positive mindset. You see what I'm saying? And just by you thinking like that, now you're going to continue to take action on your goals. And you do that in every single area of your life. You'll be surprised by how stuff just start to magically change for the better simply because you decided to start learning how to turn your negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Now, the third thing that you need to do is what a lot of people call visualization, which is basically just imagine yourself doing all the stuff that you need to do to be successful. And as you can see, this is still building off the power of the mind. So hopefully you're starting to see how everything is all connected here. Your mindset is everything. What you see in your mind, that become your reality. So if you could simply just imagine yourself doing all the stuff that you need to do to create the life that you want, then you well on your way to making it happen. Now, the fourth thing you need to do is you need to have a plan, because all the thinking and all the imagining is cool, but it's only going to get you so far. At some point, you got to put some structure behind all them positive thoughts. And so when you create a plan, all you doing is just organizing your thoughts and ordering your steps. And it's also putting an intention out there into the universe that you serious about making it happen. Now, with that being said, no plan it's going to go perfect 100% of the time. It's going to be things that's going to get in the way. It's going to be roadblocks. But that's when you need to follow this fifth step. And the fifth step is just simply keep pushing. It's going to be good days. It's going to be bad days. It's going to be easy days. It's going to be hard days. It's going to be time to plant seeds. And it's going to be time to eat the fruit. But you only get to the part where you can eat the fruit if you plant the seeds first. And then you got to water them seeds and continue to take care of them over a long period of time. And then eventually you get you a fruit tree that's going to feed you for a long period of time. So that means you got to show up day after 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 day. Continue to work even through the storms. You keep on working and you will eventually reap what you sow. And so now that leads into the sixth tip, which again, it just builds right off the last one. And this one, my fitness people know a lot about this. You got to get more reps in. And you got a progressive overload. So just like trying to build muscle, right? You got to get the reps in. You got to keep getting the reps in, right? But at the same time, if you keep doing the same amount of reps at the same amount of weight, then eventually you're going to stop progressing further. So now you got to increase the amount of reps and you got to increase the amount of weight and keep repeating that same process over and over. And over time, you build more and more muscle. Of course, if you're eating right. And so the same concept apply to your everyday life. When it comes to you chasing your goals, you constantly getting in more and more reps. But at the same time, as you do more and more reps, you want to be able to start being more and more effective so that you can continue to make progress. Now, number 7, pray, keep God first, and walk in your purpose. Because anything is possible when you got God on your side. Because God already laid out the path for you. Now you can't see that full path. God know the whole path, and he know all the roadblocks that he laid out for you to get past on that path. And the thing is, the only way you get past them roadblocks is to consult through him, because he knows how, because he laid them out for you. So with that being said, you got to keep God close to you. Meditate on his word. Pray to him, ask for what you want, ask for guidance when you hit those roadblocks, because like I said, he the one that laid those roadblocks in front of you, and he know how you need to get through them. All you got to do is just keep talking to him and he'll show you the way. So number 8, this one is going back to the mind management, because again, your mind is your most important asset. And so one of the things that you should do on a regular basis is journal. All right, because when you journal, you can reflect on everything that you did. Now, you don't have to journal to do this, but journaling make it very easy. You just write about everything that's going on in your life. What was you thinking? What was you feeling? What did you do? What do you think you could have did better? All this type of stuff, right? You just journal and you write and you write. And basically, you just coach yourself on paper. You know what I'm saying? But then the good thing about it is you can come back to this later and it's going to be exactly like you laid it out the first time. Everything that you was thinking and feeling in that moment is still right there. So you get right back into that moment. All the advice that you laid out, you might say something in your journal like, I need to start doing this. And then you might forget. But then you come back to it another time and it make even more sense the second time. Like, okay, yeah, I really need to do this. And that's just going to help you keep yourself focused versus, you know what I'm saying, just getting lost in everything that's happening from on day-to-day basis. So I highly advise you, you broke, you depressed, just start journaling, man, because when you journal, you can start catching all of them negative thoughts you having, and you can clearly see your negative thought patterns right in front of you and how you just kind of creating these negative results for yourself, and then you start turning them into positive. So now when you get into the real life situations, because you've been going over it so much in your journal, it's like now you just start naturally doing it better because you've been preparing yourself for it. And that naturally lead into number 9, which is meditating. Now, meditating and journaling is not really the same exact thing, but it's really two sides of the same coin, because it's just two different ways to help you manage your mind. It's that, you know, journaling is just you doing it on paper or typing it out, you know, on the screen or whatever. But meditating is just you and you just kind of, you know what I'm saying, sitting still, paying attention to your mind, or just being in the moment, whatever. But it's the same thing, man. You got to just sit still and be with your mind. You always constantly moving. You focusing on this, you focusing on that. You at work, you got stuff you got to do. You at home, people hitting you up, notifications, all type of stuff going on. So you ain't really just paying attention to what's going on in your own mind all the time. So you got to just sit down and make that time and take that time to do that. And same thing, man. You know, it's the same benefits as journaling, but you know, you strengthening your mind so that way you could deal with the various, you know, challenges that come in life and all that. Ultimately, if you depressed, it's going to help you get rid of that depression because you learn how to just be calm, not pay so much attention to all the negative thoughts, turn them into positive thoughts, all these different things I've been saying throughout this video, right? Meditating is a way to help you just speed all that up. And number 10 is really the most important, is you gotta keep God first, because God told you that he would make your life exceedingly fruitful, and he did not lie about that. But it's still a bargain, and you gotta hold up your end of the bargain, which means you gotta consult in him. You gotta do the things that he's asking you to do in this world. God gave you a purpose. You follow in that purpose and consult with God. He will make your life exceedingly fruitful by doing his work. You see what I'm saying? But you got to keep him first, because if you ain't keeping God first, you ain't going to be in touch with that purpose that he put on you to achieve in this world. You see what I'm saying? So you got to stay on that. If you like the video, go ahead and smash that like button for your boy.